Here we go.
But this is not live.
No, this isn't live.
Good, because I'm not ready to do live stuff. I still have to practice not cursing and stuff.
You can curse, it's okay.
Not like I do.
You don't curse like a sailor.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh, because you watch your Ratchet Bitch shows?
When is it turning on?
I'm already recording.
You're not funny. I don't know why you think it's funny to try to trap me and shit.
It's finally time for you to see the mysterious man behind the music of Kaiju Labs Media. My husband Phil is finally on camera, y'all.
Hello, everybody.
This is the start of So I Married a Geek. And I've been thinking about this for a while because, let's face it, you married a geek.
I married a geek, and I thought I knew what a geek was, and I thought I was a geek, and then I got introduced to a whole other level of shit I never knew existed. Well, I knew it existed because I had heard about it in, like, academic articles and, like, news stories, like, oh my gosh, look what's cropping up in America.
We're going to do a whole segment on this show. It's going to be called Be Easy on Me. It's my first time. All the first he experienced, but
It's been a ride.
it's been funny because people always joke and laugh at our interactions. He's like, we should really do a show. And is that the dog barking?
Always.
You'll see the dog. She's such a camera hound. There she is, raptor clawing away.
Mm-hmm.
Just peeking around corners, like, what are y'all doing? So anyways, I've been wanting to do a show about our life for a long time because so much happens. Both good and bad. We laugh, we joke, he puts up with me.
He puts up with me.
It's been hilarious. So we're gonna do this weekly as So I Married a Geek, and you're gonna see all sorts of fun things about us and random thoughts, questions of the week, things we argue about, what happens during our
Shock
week.
of all shocks is you might find out I've changed a little bit over the years since I married a geek.
Shock of all shocks, we'll see what happens because he still defends shitty movies.
I'm not going to say shit right now. We'll get into that when we get into that. Okay.
So yeah, this week we've had some fun. His hag's name is Angie, and she has this amazingly smart daughter. And I was talking to her yesterday, and I was talking to her daughter. She's watching this show called Mother Goose Clubhouse, and we were talking about how they're puppets and stuff. And I said, "You need to tell your mom you want to watch Booba."
Why would you do that? Like,
Angie didn't know what Booba was, and so she made Alora go away so she could watch. She goes, "You are wrong for this. You are very wrong for this." So, for those that don't know, Booba is part of a kids show regime when it was like Teletubbies and weird shit. Like when our kid was a kid, like he liked Yo Gabba Gabba, Bear in the Big Blue House, but Booba and Teletubbies were his thing. And Booba are these like fuzzy balls with light up eyebrows that don't talk and make fart noises and come out of papaya seeds. Like, it is a whole nother level of drug-induced children's programming. Like, you thought Teletubbies was bad. Booba is like an acid trip, as best as I can imagine an acid trip being. Like, they were on a special level of shit.
yeah, and it's amazing the generation turned out the way it did.
I know, right?
Or should I have said we're surprised they turned out the way they did?
So yeah, and I've also been getting ready for Halloween. I decided to start it. Like, we have a Halloween tree. I've got stuff up. I made Beetlejuice pumpkin. We've had all sorts of fun. And the reason we decided to start it this week was because we do fan service on Tuesdays, and Harley and Jill come over. We just have the best. We just have like a party at night. We played board games this week, and we did Cards Against Disney, and that's Cards Against Anything is not fun with 3 people. So I made Phil get ready, and he was like, okay. He was just putting on different outfits, and then he got on camera. It's like, that was actually really fun. Let's do more camera stuff.
It's taken me a long time to get to where I thought this would be fun, but I think it can be fun.
Well, anytime you're playing Cards Against Disney, it's really fun because there's always a card about a delicious asshole, and I don't know why that's like a standard.
Every deck. To be one.
Usually that ends our game, but we kept going because with Harley, Jill, me, and Phil, we were fucking crazy. Like, we're so much fun together, it's not even funny. Like,
the fun part though was like they so Gavin and Harley and Jill are like super hardcore Disney fans. I know Disney. I grew up with Disney. I have not kept up with Disney. So I kept getting cards where I was like, well, whatever the fuck that is, here you go. And handing them over. And then they would read the clue. I was like, so what did I give you? Who is that? Because I have no idea what I just said. Like, who the hell was that? But, you know, I'm learning. I've been learning since I met Gavin.
So yeah, we invite you guys to join us each week as we go over our life and things that happen in our week and just weird things we do. Today we're going to be talking about a constant argument we have. We're going to be talking about Phil's first since he's met me. I am king of random thoughts, so I'm going to hit him with my random thought each week with no warning whatsoever.
And hopefully my brain doesn't explode in the process.
Because, now they're not so random now because I'm trying to think of them ahead of time because I have so many fucking random thoughts like the mosquito ghost,
Yes.
fish vaginas, like the whole
Yes.
thing just goes on and on and on. This is what happens. So stay tuned. Let's get into So I Married a Geek. One of the things you're going to learn about this show is this dog likes to be between the two of us.
This is the real star of the show, everybody.
So, hey, one of the biggest things... Oh, God, quit licking my ear. It sounds so gross, and she has such butt breath. It's not even funny.
But she has to let me know all the time he belongs to her. And that is where her loyalties lie. Like, I used to worry, y'all, that he was secretly training her to just snap one day and he would just be like, Kids Bop! And she would go crazy and start tearing shit apart and attack me. Like, she is that loyal to him. To where there have been times I walk in the room and she's in bed with him and there's this low grumble from the bed like, you're not getting in bed with us.
She'll stretch out over his side of the bed and be like,
Always.
What? She won't bite me. Will
Not
you
him.
play?
She's bitten me. Like, she'll chew on me like I'm a rawhide and then accidentally bite down a little bit too hard. With him, you would think she didn't have teeth. You would think that she had taken her dentures out and was gently gumming him because she wouldn't want to leave a little mark behind. And she also, if you can't tell by the look on her face, she thinks she's the most beautiful dog that God ever created.
She has discovered she's on camera, so she'll be staring at the camera the rest of the time.
Yeah, when she sees herself, she's just like, who is that gorgeous creature?
I know, right? So anyways, they always ask, how did you two get together? Because I have this firm belief that to be in a really good relationship, you need to find someone who's really not like you. But most people I know, they find people who are like them and they're happy. I needed to find someone the exact opposite of me. And we found the opposite of each other.
We did, and I was looking for something similar. I wanted somebody who was unlike anybody I had been with before, but somebody who could make me laugh. That was always the most important thing, was I needed somebody who could make me laugh. And then I met this nut job.
I always looked at it like he just saw boring people before.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have dated my share of boring people in the past.
So we met online on... What was it?
OkCupid.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like, he was the first person I met on OkCupid. The first date I went on OkCupid. Deactivated my account after our first date on OkCupid. And then my friends who had been the ones who told me to use it, he'd be like, wait, now what the fuck have we been doing wrong? I was like, I don't know. I just got lucky.
Yeah, well, you think it's lucky. Our first date was 6 hours. We were sitting there talking because I'm very open. I put everything on the table. I'm one of those crazy guys who sees the top 15 films you should never watch because they're so fucking disgusting. I watched all of them, including a Serbian film. And I had to describe to him, someone's resume has newborn porn noises as part of their credits from this movie.
Because of that awful movie he watched. And he's telling me all of this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I am one of those people who intelligently sees that list, and I was like, guess what will not make it into my playlist? Everything on this list of things not to watch.
Y'all, that's an open challenge for me. Like, I will watch that stuff. And, like, I always love these dumb lists, like, oh, movies that were so horrifying people walked out of the theater. No, I've seen most of those movies. No one walked out of the theater. Nobody ever walks out of the theater. Like,
he is right about that. But you do somehow always find the lists that have that dark shit that the rest of the world was hoping nobody would ever film. And you watched it.
I did. And he was lucky he even stayed around because he stood outside the door wearing this god-awful fedora.
Not awful, awesome fedora, made me look cool, covered up my bad hair day.
You went on
in.
a date with a bad hair day?
I always have bad hair days. So recently I discovered when I was getting my hair cut that I have like a vortex of hair. So the girl cutting my hair was like, well, you have a cowlick here, but then you have this weird pattern here and another pattern over here. So I've always got a bad hair day unless I put enough hair gel to withstand a bullet. My hair is going to do what it's going to do. So I put on this fedora. I look fly as fuck. I walk in thinking he doesn't have a chance. And then I saw his pretty blue eyes and I was like, I'm so fucked. I don't have a chance with this guy. And then he started staring at my hat, and I was like, old friend, I don't want to have to break up with you, but if he don't like you, the hat might have to go. The hat still is here, by the way. The hat hangs by the front door.
I try to hide it.
He tries to hide it. I will find my hat, and it will go back by the front door in case I decide to wear it again. FYI.
It's an ugly hat.
It is not an ugly hat.
It's an ugly hat. It's a neckbeard hat.
Oh, you motherfucker.
It is. I'm gonna lie. It's a neckbeard hat.
It is not a neckbeard hat. It's a fedora, and it looks lovely.
When you go online and you see the neckbeards with the swords going, "Milady," they're wearing that hat.
Nobody goes looking for people online with swords saying "Milady." You just created that. That's something you've made up.
So, anyways, I played the game. I totally played the game. I did not text him or call him because I knew he'd be sitting by his phone.
And I was sitting there at work, working all day long, and like, why isn't he answering me? What did I do wrong? I know my friends at work were probably tired of me asking them, like, but what did I do wrong, y'all? Like, yes, and one of my friends who was a girl was like, this is kind of what guys do sometimes, so maybe don't take it so seriously. Maybe he's just waiting. I was like, maybe, or what could it have been? And then when he finally texted, I was like, oh, okay, so he thinks he's funny. He thought it was cute. He thinks he's cuter than he really is.
No, see, it's true. I made him wait a while. I played that game.
And then we were together nonstop. He played that game, and then we had 10 dates in the first 3 weeks of
He
meeting
remembers
each other.
all the numbers and shit.
Yes.
I did not give it up easily.
No, you did not. But we did have, like, when I say 10 dates in 21 days, not exaggerating, in 3 weeks, just about every other day we saw each other because we couldn't be apart.
Well, he wanted more than just me sometimes, and I was like, no, I don't feel like it today.
Over here trying to pretend he was a nun.
I made it work for that shit, too.
And he had a dog at the time who used to love to jump on the couch between us, and then she would shake her, like, move her butt to separate us and be like, leave room for Jesus, you two. Leave room for Jesus.
That was Gozer. She was a weenie Labrador mix. And
Yeah,
she's with
like,
my
she
brother.
looked like a
weird.
golden lab that someone has shortened and stretched.
Yeah,
That's what she looked like.
was the Hulk. Like, this is a Haas dog. She was a Hulk dog.
And she did not like me. She did not like me.
Yes, we're talking about another dog. You can stop licking my face. Thank you.
She's just reminding you.
So then, we were out for a while, and, like, we had our ups and downs. Like, he got really mad that I didn't go to his 6th fucking birthday party.
It was not my 6th birthday party.
Yes, he had a week of birthday parties, and I went to the first ones that were important, and then I was supposed to have my son down and have a weekend, but my son didn't come down, and I had a house full of people, so I was like, I'm just going to hang out here.
And I was like, but my hag is having our joint birthday party, and your son didn't come. You could come to our party. And he didn't. And my hag even went so far as to make him bacon sushi. Because he doesn't eat raw fish, she went ahead and made him this barbecue deliciousness sushi.
We need to make that again.
I'm not making it. She can make it for you.
Yeah.
You didn't show up for the party.
You're still holding that fucking grudge?
Tardy to the party, don't get no treats.
It's been years. We can make that fucking bacon sushi again.
So he shows up, or I show up at his house all mad, and go storming up the stairs with a baggie of this bacon sushi. And I came out, I was like, so you can still have a party without me, and throw it across the room at him, and turn to storm out, and then I stop and wait for him to come get me. Like
It was so
I'm trying
dramatic.
to make a dramatic exit, and I was like, I don't want to leave just yet though, because he hasn't said he's sorry. Like I can't leave. On TV, the guys always chase after you. Not this motherfucker. Don't expect him to come chasing after you for shit.
You want to act dramatic? Your bitch ass is on your own.
So then I finally I calmed myself down. I turned around, and like a Bond villain, he's sitting there in his chair, legs crossed. Only thing he's missing is a cat for him to be stroking, to be like, and what lesson did you learn, Mr. Bond? Like, I thought I was going to make a point. I didn't make shit of a point, evidently.
So, yeah, it's, that was about the time when I knew this was going to be like the forever thing. So I was talking to your sister, and I'd gotten a ring and everything, but the problem was we started really thinking alike. Like, we were getting each other the same type of gifts and everything, and then I'd like come over and surprise him, like at Thanksgiving and shit. Like, just to come over to surprise him. I came over on 4th of July, and...
ruined my 4th of July.
Because... what did you say?
Okay, yeah, so people out there watching this, y'all can go ahead and help me out, because he forever has thought this was a good idea and cute, because I guess on sitcoms it works.
We're getting there.
No,
What
we're
did
not
you say on
getting
4th of
we're
July?
not getting to that part. We're still in the beginning of the sitcom nonsense. It's the 4th of July, and I accidentally call Gavin my husband. It just slips out. And he flips his shit on me and is like, stop doing that. Stop calling me your husband. You're not my husband. We're not married. But you're giving everybody the wrong idea about us. So I quietly get up and go to my room and slam the door as loud as I possibly
Dramatically.
can. And lock it and sit there crying and crying and crying, which he thought was hysterical because it meant he threw me off the set.
It was.
Does this sound funny to most people who are in love? How would you like it for the person you love to sit there on the 4th of July and make you cry just to throw you off the set?
I had to. He was getting too close. He's too fucking smart. And so one day, I woke up and was like, today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to ask. So, I'd already been trying to throw him off the set very non-professionally, I guess. And so, I told his sister today's day. She's like, okay. So I texted him, and I said, this is what I said. Come over after work. We need to talk.
And that's it. And that's it. And he sends me this shit at like 8:15 as I'm trying to get my workday started. And I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to make of it. Again, I go to all my girls at work, all my guys at work, and nobody has any positivity for me on this one. They're like, that's usually, you know what that means. Like, you don't want to believe that's what it means, but you know what that means. I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it means. So I decided when work is over, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go handle shit, and I'm going to be calm. And instead, y'all, like, if this
was not calm.
If this had been Love and Hip Hop, security would have been there standing between us. I walked into the room like, what? What do we got to talk about? What is there to talk about today?
I heard him coming in, so I staged myself. And I sat in the chair and just waited for him to come upstairs. And he comes upstairs, and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like this. And he sits down and goes, what?
Ready to go, y'all.
And so I look at Dirty and I was like, we've been seeing each other for a while, and we've had some good times, and, I just don't think us being boyfriends is working. Blood red. Like, if he were a cartoon character, you could see steam coming out of his ears, plotting his vengeance.
I was ready to pull my shoes off just in case they got in the way of me jumping across the room at you. You know I've watched enough shows. I see them take their shoes off. I know I got to take my shoes off too.
And he's looking at me like ready to explode. And I was like, I really think we should be husbands and get married. And I showed him the ring, white as a ghost. And sweat. Just sweat. And just this look in his eye like, you motherfucker.
Again, people watching. Yes, this might look cute when when Friends, it happens on Friends and Chandler and Monica and shit.
Everybody loves when it happens on TV. It happened in real life with us.
And it's not as cute in real life when you go through that roller coaster of emotions just to arrive at, oh, this is what I wanted. Because for a minute, You're at the top of the roller coaster looking down like, I fucked up. I made a mistake. I'm about to, I'm going to fall off, and that's the end of I survived the ride. Yes, thankfully, I accepted the ring graciously, and I didn't break his jaw for all the jokes he thought he was playing on me. There was nothing but love, and we have been happy, but there are times where I do remind him, just because they do it on television shows doesn't mean it's supposed to happen in real life.
But now you've got a badass story.
But just watch, y'all. One day, I'm going to fuck with this old man, and I'm going to set him up in a similar way.
Motherfucker, who looks older between the two of us?
You.
With your gray hair and shit.
One day, I'm going to set this motherfucker up, and instead of it being that cute sitcom type thing, you're going to walk into like an arena from the challenge type situation. It's be like, whoever walks out of here alive is the winner. Like, that's the kind of way we're going to have our next conversation like that. You'll see.
I don't even know how an arena challenge would come about from a conversation.
You watch the challenge with me, fool.
What are you going to do? Like, set up, hey, you want dinner? I want to play a game. Like, I'll play a game.
Oh, we'll see. You'll see. Remember, you're the one who talks about how smart I am all the time? It's not that hard to outsmart you, baby.
Fuck you.
I can do it.
So that's our sitcom story of how we got together. So now the world knows. You can laugh. Agree
all
with me.
of the men watching this, please do not torture your girlfriends to propose to them because you think it's cute.
They're men with women. They're already tortured by that woman's expectations.
I'm not even going to say any of that shit. I ain't going to go there because everybody's got their own shit in their relationships.
They do.
But I'm just saying, know your woman, because the wrong chick, like had someone done that to my sister, they could have gotten stabbed by accident. My sister and her G shit would not have put up with it. Although I will say she thought it was hysterical when he told her what happened and how I reacted. She's like, I knew that's how his dramatic ass was going to react, and she thought it was hilarious. Yeah, super cute.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. This is one of our segments we do called Eye to Eye, which I find hilarious because, like I said, we don't always agree on things. And I'm going to start our very first one with...
Which could almost be a marriage breaker, FYI, y'all, just so y'all know.
The biggest argument we have.
It's been years of us, like, intense therapy to make this marriage work with this issue.
How shitty Scooby-Doo is.
You can shut your whore mouth. Not in this house.
I was not aware of just what a giant Scooby-Doo fan he was. I thought it was more of a casual thing.
And I wasn't aware that God made creatures that didn't enjoy Scooby-Doo. Like, it's the greatest thing ever.
I can enjoy Scooby-Doo to a degree, but every episode is the same thing.
But you'll watch Star Wars where you've got 3 different Death Stars. That's not too much, but you're going to say that there's too much repetition in Scooby-Doo, y'all?
Scooby-Doo's been generations of the same thing. Star Wars is 9 movies. And a
third of them had the same ending.
There wasn't a Death Star in the prequels. There was 2 in the original trilogy because they destroyed the original one. There was always a backup plan, and I can't really explain Starkiller Base because that was kind of lame.
Nobody can explain the new trilogy. Y'all just accepted it. But anyway,
that's what we got.
But anyway, we were talking about what was far more important, which is Scooby-Doo.
So, I like the live-action Scooby-Doo movie because it's fun. I watched Scooby-Doo as a kid, but it was not one of those things.
There were 2.
The second one was okay.
A third if you count Scoob, which I don't.
So there is a limit, apparently. We've discovered the limit.
That's not a Scooby-Doo movie. We're good.
I don't agree that Scooby-Doo is the best all-be-all. I never have, and every time the kids come over, it's always, let's watch Scooby-Doo. I'm like, fuck, watch something else, y'all.
No, see, my niece and my nephews are well-trained and well-educated and love them.
They weren't given a choice. Because when I show them other stuff like Johnny Quest or anything, they love that way more than Scooby-Doo.
They don't love it more than Scooby-Doo. They accept whatever you give them. That's like being like, they love it when I give them peanut butter sandwiches. They'll eat them. But when you put mac and cheese down, that's what they really want. So if you did the Pepsi Coke challenge on this one, Scooby-Doo is going to beat it. Scooby-Doo's going to win. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you.
See, this is what I have to get, because he thinks Scooby-Doo is the best Hanna-Barbera, and it's not.
It is.
It's Jetsons, Flintstones, Johnny Quest, Smurfs.
And none of those were formulaic, y'all. Only Scooby-Doo was formulaic.
Scooby-Doo,
The
every
Flintstones,
episode.
the Jetsons,
Okay, those were
none of that
sitcom
was
family
formulaic.
based. Scooby-Doo is, let's find the 3 clues, like we're in fucking Blue's Clues. Velma does all the work.
Before Blue's Clues ever existed.
I get that. Shaggy and Scooby run around getting high and eating. And then, with the monster at the end, it's some old man.
It's teaching kids to realize that when you look at the world empirically, maybe there's not monsters and ghosts, but just bad people who need to be stopped.
You are not trying to say Scooby-Doo is educational for children.
It is. It teaches you lots of important life lessons.
Like how to run like an idiot through doors down a hallway back and forth.
What did you get from the Flintstones, from the Jetsons, and the rest of that shit?
How we got together. It was a sitcom. And I know, they were meant to be entertaining. You cannot tell me, like, Scooby-Doo can be entertaining. I know they did later versions of it, like the 13 Ghosts things that actually started bringing
13 Ghosts is the shit.
into a thing. But Scooby-Doo as a
13 Ghosts
whole,
for life.
it's just kind of done.
No. Well, no. I'm not even gonna say it's done, y'all. I can't even front. Like some of the new series, I don't get down with. I don't dig. But Mystery Inc., the cartoon, with the story arc and everything, that was a really cool way to revive it. I think you're shitting on it for the formulaic style of the episodes. That didn't make them bad. All cartoons follow that, especially from that era. And they continue to come up with ways to make Scooby-Doo interesting for kids. And I'm going to say it, and I know that we're about to have a big fight about this. I don't think Scrappy-Doo was the worst thing that they brought in.
Scrappy-Doo is the shittiest cartoon. There's so much fun that they made fun of him in the first live-action movie to make him the villain because everybody hates him.
Y'all might have hated him. Scrappy was the shit.
Again, he has no taste in entertainment.
I have plenty.
It's just not good taste.
I do. See, no, I'm not gonna let you get away with that shit. I also, it's the, you like the obvious shit from Hanna-Barbera too, like Flintstones and Jetsons and.
They may be basic bitch shit, but those cartoons were revolutionary. At least Flintstones was. Johnny Quest is just this whole other thing for me. And Smurfs,
I love Johnny Quest growing up too.
I fucking know my Smurfs lore
I have a
backwards
homeboy
and
whose name I'm not going to drop, but on the playground when we were in elementary school, we used to play Johnny Quest where we would pretend to be the characters. I get it.
Who are you? Bandit?
I don't remember anymore. Probably Johnny sometimes, probably Haji sometimes.
I always want to be Race
Bandit.
Bandit because Race Bandit was the shit.
Mm-hmm. But you're going.
He was a badass.
But you're going to hate on Scooby-Doo. I don't even know what to do with you.
It's like, I'm glad that they took Scooby-Doo in new directions, because how many more times could you do the same fucking thing?
Star Wars.
Star Wars is doing new things now. That's a whole other argument we're going to have on different episodes about Star Wars. Just keep that in the back pocket right now. But no, like, I get fun Scooby-Doo things, and I just don't get it. I don't get the draw to Scooby-Doo, the original series, because I don't like. I like what I like from Hanna-Barbera, but all the other things they do, like Yogi Bear and all that stuff, that's all just cookie cutter stuff. At least Scooby-Doo wasn't like that, because they did Top Cat, Huckleberry Hound, Hong Kong Phooey, like all those weird ones that were just
all the racist ones. That
they
people
just
should
really
remember.
cranked those out for entertainment purposes, and they weren't good. They weren't like these things. And yes, I do think Scooby-Doo is part of the pantheon of Hanna-Barbera, but for the original stuff,
Scooby sits on the throne.
No, he doesn't.
He might turn to Fred for
If
advice as his mafia don.
Flintstone
He
sits
might
on the throne.
He might turn to George to ask for his psychic advice about the future. But Scooby's the one who tells us what's really going on in the world around us, and not to let the
too high
monsters
to
run
tell
the
you that
world.
stuff.
Shaggy's too high to tell you that
They
stuff.
both are. That dog was
Nah,
secondhand contact and high the entire time.
Scooby can hold his shit. Like
You
Scooby,
could tell he was high by the way he talked.
Scooby can hold the truth. I mean,
Right. Who's right now?
But he can still hold his shit. Scooby still solves mysteries high as fuck. Shaggy's who's the one tripping and falling and getting all tangled up, and then Scooby's the one at the end who's like, "Y'all, I solved the mystery."
Those
again.
damn beatniks.
Hey, I don't know what else. I don't know how I'm going to convince you of this. Like, until we figure this out, we're not going to get this marriage back on track, though. So we need to get this shit under control.
See, we will never see eye to eye on this. Ever. Just like
We are never, ever, ever. Whatever that stupid song is.
the one that I make fun of that you like, because she says ever, 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 never, 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 back and forth. Like,
No, that other. Isn't it Taylor Swift who does that stupid song?
I don't fucking know. You're the music guy between us. You should know.
Yeah, but I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I like 2 of her songs. I think. Maybe 2. No, you're thinking of that other song I like where it's I really, 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 really. Like, you're like, how many times can she say really? I was like, I don't know, till it fits. As many
She
times,
had no other one.
as many times as it fits in the bar is how many times she can say
And when
really.
it comes to this, he makes fun of the music I listen to because it's so basic. But this bitch said really 8 times in a stance.
Stands up.
Whatever. And you're like, oh, it's so cute. No, she has one fucking word.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't know what it's like to really, 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 really like somebody. When you do, you will know the correct number of reallys. I always know the right number of reallys for that song.
Yeah, here's my response. It's the Lil Jon response. Yeah! What? That's the whole song.
Yeah! I mean, at least get it right if you're going to quote Lil Jon. Good Lord.
Okay. That's that one. What would a show about us be without specific segments focusing on each one of us? I'd make the whole show about me because I'm just that awesome, but
I mean, awesome, egotistical. I mean,
not as much as the dog. At least she left us alone.
tomato.
Now she's back to
Oh, no, now
sniffing
she's like,
crotches.
wait, it looks like there's space.
So, when we opened the show, Phil talked about how he has learned and experienced a lot of things he had never thought about since he met me. So let's talk about one of them.
So here's the golden nugget I would say I have taken away so far from all of this. And I'm working hard, everybody, on self-improvement and not being judgmental, because when I met Gavin, I don't know if there was a more judgmental person on the planet than I was.
Now, let's hit pause. And that's because he was raised to be this way.
I just, that's how I've been, and I'm trying not to be, y'all. But one thing that Gavin has taught me, and Gavin's friends have taught me, is at the end of the day, we're all just looking for happiness. And all of us are taking the path that works for us to get there. So when you look around at people, and I say this to people who may be like me, who look at other people who do things they don't do for fun, and think that's dumb, that's stupid, why would anyone ever do something like that? Stop and just remember, all of us just want to be happy, and we're looking for our way to be happy.
Darn, it's too bad you haven't been with someone who's been telling you that for years.
I just said if there's one thing Gavin's taught me. If there's another thing that Gavin's taught me, it's that anytime he's correct about something, I'm going to hear, who is it who said that to you?
Because you don't listen to me half the time because you think I'm crazy.
And who?
Because he always, like, he'll listen, but then someone else in his life will validate what I said, and then it becomes real.
He doesn't understand the concept of validation through multiple sources. Remember earlier, y'all, when I was
You think he would have just learned by now?
Earlier when I was
Just
talking about
listen to me.
Scooby-Doo teaching you to look at the world empirically and all of that?
Scooby-Doo is not
You use
educational.
more than one source sometimes. I know we're in the post-fact age where Wikipedia and the internet make the truth even though it's not real. Sometimes you need more than one valid source. I get my information from my husband. I have other people I talk to. Just because I talk to multiple people and they validate what you said doesn't mean I went to them and said, Gavin's a liar, right? I say usually, so here's what Gavin said, and then I hear, well, I would say the same thing. That's not me questioning you and me thinking you're crazy. Logically, rationally, reasonably, scientifically, it doesn't hurt to have more than one source. I hope I teach you that lesson someday.
Please, I snap judgment everything. I ain't even gonna lie.
I snapped a judgment too. Y'all, I am practicing hard not to snap and to just jump to judgment.
He is. He's trying really, really hard. And it's funny because I think I took you to your first convention.
He did take me to my first convention.
So this will be the first we talk about this one. First convention. I didn't prep him enough.
No, he did not. So if we're gonna have, let me set the tone. Let me give you the setting, everybody. South by Southwest.
It's
It's
the
the
gaming
video
convention,
game
yeah.
convention portion of it. We're standing outside. It is a lovely spring day, and there is a lovely breeze.
It used
And-
to be lovely.
And with the wind blowing outdoors, all I can smell are the people around me who have decided not to bathe for the duration of the convention. Nobody warned me that people, for some reason, don't bathe at these things, and that they will stink out loud when you're outside. And I'm, again, trying not to be judgmental, but if you're going to be surrounding yourself with lots of other people, common courtesy says the least you can do is wash your smelly ass so that they don't smell it when you walk outside. They had literal stink lines coming off of them.
Confunk is a real thing. You can look it up.
And then when he
Concept
told me the word confunk, I was like, okay, so you knew about this and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I
Because
didn't
you
prep
think you're
them.
cuter than you... Okay. You're not as cute as you think you are sometimes.
There are conventions that now make rules about confunk because
You
it's
shouldn't
literally-
have to make a rule that says, yo, if you're going to be here with thousands of other people, you should bathe.
You would think so, but it used to be really, really bad. And I think the worst experience I had with it was when Eric and Josh and I went to Antarcticon. The only time they ever did it in San Antonio. And this ginormous Jabba the Hutt looking guy wearing a way too tight Sailor Moon shirt kept mean mugging me, and he smelled like rotten cheese. That was my first experience with confunk. So I've been dealing with it for a while. I understand, if you're in cosplay, make sure you're going to, be prepared for that because it's going to be hot and heavy all day. But to just kind of be, I'm just going to jump out of my basement, it's a horrible way to put it, and go to this convention, put some deodorant on. They make Axe body spray for that, for real.
Also, I learned at the convention, and this is not meant to be an insult to any cosplayers, and Gavin told me to just kind of bite my tongue. You can be the most amazing cosplayer on the planet. There was a girl there who was dressed as Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Girl looked amazing. But her attitude was so awful, it made me hate the costume and not want to stand next to her. And we just professed my undying love for Scooby-Doo. But she was so mean and nasty to people. Somebody who was like, oh my god, can I take a picture with... She's like, I have lots of followers. I have to be very selective about the pictures I take. I was like, yo, somebody came up to you excited to take a picture of you pretending to be someone you're not, and you shut him down and talked about your followers and how you get to pick when you have your photo ops. Just going back to conventions and things I learned, humility, for God's sake. If somebody is there and excited to see you, you should be excited that somebody was excited to see you. And not thinking about how all of your Instagram followers might take a photo with that person. That was something that kind of turned me off from conventions for a while.
Yeah, we've had... We'll have these, and I'll bring people to actually talk about it with us, cosplay and LARPing discussions. But yeah, there was some really rude cosplayers here back in the day at that convention specifically, and it wasn't your best first convention, but we're gonna fix that because next year we're going to Necronomicon, which is very much a him convention. So yeah, that'll be quite interesting. So that was some of Phil's first. You'll see more of Phil's first as we go along through the series.
Because there were have been so many, and I'm sure there will be a billion more while we're together.
He had his first Disney-themed birthday party with me.
You had your first Speed Racer themed birthday party with me.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have lots of fun doing that. So, you want to ask him questions? Hit us up in the comments, email me, do whatever. There's lots more first to come. Bitch looks comfortable, doesn't she?
I guess I'm just the best pillow ever.
She's all you talked.
For real. So, I prefer when my pillows don't move.
One of the best parts of living with me is my random shitty thoughts I come up with. Because my problem is if I'm not engaged actively, my mind will just create the craziest scenarios and the craziest shady clapbacks. Like Phil, one time, I was not even paying attention, and he was like, "Well, Mia said she could just sell me with my face," and without even thinking, I was like, "Because she couldn't sell you with the rest of your body."
I mean, why am I touching you?
I think I got hit with a shoe that day. Like, if I'm not being engaged and I don't filter what's coming out, then there's a problem. So, my random thought for you today, and and this is an honest to God thing. Like, we do argue about terminology and things like that. Like one time, he told me I couldn't use a word if it wasn't in the dictionary because I would use the term pauvre, which is poor in French. But because it was French, I couldn't use it. So then I used droven. No, I used droven. No, I used expressionful because this dude has some expressionful eyebrows.
Which is not a word.
And it is a word in the Urban Dictionary. So then the rule was it has to be in the dictionary. So then I said, you could have driven through that traffic, no problem. You can't use that word. Yes, it was in the dictionary in like 1918.
It was deleted from the language in 1918, but he insists that because
it was in the dictionary,
because at some point it was in a dictionary, it is a valid, still used word. Use it in an academic paper and see if you can turn that in and publish it.
So, the random things that come out of my mouth. My random thought for today is if you were a time traveler and you went back in time and killed the man who created the concept of time, would you still be a time traveler? Would you be stuck? Because all your concept of time is now out the window. And would it be a good thing because now people aren't tied to the idea of time?
Wow, because you know how I am about time. The problem is we created the idea and the concept of time, but we didn't create time itself. So he can't go. All he could do.
The very theory of how his time machine works and everything is based on our created idea of time. Because time does exist, but we gave it a name. So if we don't give it a name, we just let it run in the wild, and we go time travel and kill the dude who gave it a name and created the whole idea of time, wouldn't you be fucked? Because your time machine wouldn't exist, your idea of time wouldn't exist. You'd be like, what?
No, that's like saying, like, if I build a boat and I go convince people who live on an island that, you know, water doesn't exist, you can still get in the boat and go back because it's still there and it's still real. Their concept of water might have changed. You can change the concept of time, but you don't change our ability to move forward through it. That's all we can do right now is moving forward through it.
But we're so ingrained these days that our idea of moving forward is based on months, days, years, minutes, seconds, hours.
Which pass no matter what we do.
Yes, but we gave it a name. So if we get rid of not giving it a name and we go back to just, hey, like the moon says it's this time or the trees say it's this time, our idea of time is completely jacked up. The time machine, which knows to go back specifically to this point based on months, years, units, no, it no longer works.
I see what you mean. So the difficulty in what you would to me the conundrum you would create for yourself, and I'm sure that scientific people watching this are like, he needs to shut the fuck up. But I think the conundrum you would create is you wouldn't have a way to pinpoint where you would go back to. Because there would, like, what we would have called 1845 isn't that anymore. So how is the time machine going to track to when you want to go? I think that's the problem but who the hell knows in your head this could just end up in a monkey knife fight. That might be how your time machine thing gets resolved, just with the way you think. Like, there's going to be a monkey knife fight somewhere to decide whether or not this breaks time. I just have a feeling. That's the only way to resolve this one.
I agree. Time.
Monkey knife fight.
Monkey knife fights. Why would you really want, like, I don't know. The idea of chaining us to an idea of time just drives me crazy.
No. I'll give y'all my thought for the day. It's one of my favorite thought experiments. And there is no answer. There's never a correct answer. Some people say you can't have the conversation because there's no way to conceptualize it. Imagine what the world would be like had we never invented money. And people always tell me that on Star Trek they did this. I don't watch Star Trek, but if they did this on Star Trek...
We do watch Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, yeah. But
I do watch...
I've never seen the rest of the stuff. But what I don't get is if they came up with a way to make it work on a TV show, why do people's brains break when I ask that question?
Because it's a TV show. It's not real. They're flying around in outer space and encountering
But
robots and aliens.
I'm saying, I talk to people and they're like, it's not possible. You can't have a world where money doesn't exist. I'm
It's
like,
because of capitalism.
you made a TV show where it happened. So why can't you conceive that it could be possible to not have money? And everybody's response is, yes, capitalism is the root of all evil, but people will go back and say, well, you can't. It's just not possible. You have to have money to make things work. Why?
Because it enslaves you to a career, a trade.
We are
It gives value
enslaved
to
into that. But
things.
why can't people's brains conceive of a
Because
world?
that would be the better good as of the selfish center.
I think that is a lot of what it comes back to is you have to think of everything you would give up and be without and not have. We probably would not have Xbox. And I know for you, that's enough for you to be like, you shut your whore mouth. Capitalism is wonderful. I need dollars. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be for the greater good of humanity to design something like Xbox, because did it really do anything for humanity but give people a way to social game and call each other names and be rude?
Entertain.
And teach 7-year-olds to use racist language in chat rooms? Like,
Squeakers!
dude.
Squeakers,
I saw a clip of T-Pain shutting some of that down, and that cracked me the fuck up. A bunch of people were being racist in a chat room while he was playing, I want to say Call of Duty, so he went and killed all of them over and over again. Then when he was done, he took a sip of his Moscato. He was like, hell yeah. I was like, yeah, fuck that. Shut that shit down. That was my thought of the day, y'all. Just saying.
You comfortable?
Yes.
You have fun?
I think so.
So, we like to watch all sorts of fun things, and part of what we do every day for him is he watches what I call ratchet bitch shows. It's nothing but these women catfighting and backstabbing each other and getting mad at other women who have slept with their boyfriend or husband, even though their husband or boyfriend doesn't want to do anything. They never blame them. Like Love and Hip Hop, Love and Medicine.
That's my shit. Married to Medicine.
And all these other ones. And they're fun to watch. I could not tell you who the fuck is who because I just like watching when they go crazy cat fight. It used to be the way I watched Jerry Springer back in the
And
day.
I'm not good. What is like, girl, did you see what Monique was up to last night? Like, I keep up.
So the best way for Phil to keep up with this is he got Discovery Plus, which is
Paramount
an app.
Plus.
No.
They're all on Paramount Plus. Discovery Plus is where we've got our 90-day shows.
Oh, yes, like the 90-day shows. So he has these apps to watch these things, and I want to talk about Discovery Plus because, one, I didn't know it was a thing until he got it, and two, within 10 hours of him having it, he had 67 shows in his queue.
Because there's so much cool shit to watch.
And one of the shows, I kid you not, is Amish horror stories, Amish urban legends. Like, they reenact Amish urban legends.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's fucking weird. But then they have, like, all these 90-Day Fiancé shows. Like, that is like a whole franchise now.
I know. Oh, it's quite a fascinating one, too.
It's sad because it's some of the saddest people, like Friendzone Potato, which is what I call him. This little dude that's like a troll with no neck. Ed, who he was in, what, 90 Day Single Life when we watched. And he's like a friend zone, but he looks like a potato and he's stuck in the friend zone. Because he fucks everything up. Like, these shows are epically made, but he has like everything on this app to watch, and it's all trashy TV.
I like to get out of my... So I spend a lot of time in my head. I spend a lot of time philosophizing and thinking and driving myself crazy sometimes. Because I can take a simple idea and run it through my head 67 different times, and each time come up with a different conclusion, and then ask myself, let's go back and redivide those conclusions up, and which was the best, and which were the worst, and why did you come here, and how did you go there? Or I can put on Love and Hip Hop and watch someone say bitch and throw a glass of champagne, and I'm like, okay, let's see this shit get started. And he's learned... He has figured out the music that they use. Like, he'll hear a sudden, like, string progression. He's like, uh-oh, someone's coming.
Gonna happen.
He's like, someone's coming and a fight's about to break out. And he knows, because I'm already on the edge of my seat, like, y'all, it's about to go down. She just walked in, and she got that look on her face.
It's hilarious. And they've got, like, all those cooking shows. Like, he just binge watches, like, seasons of this stuff. And I'm like, really? Go to the kitchen and actually cook, because you are the cook between the two of us.
I get ideas from them when they cook. I watch. I like watching some cooking shows, but I mean the cooking shows are interesting. I like the competition cooking shows better, but I rely on those, y'all, because I can't be the only person who gets so tired of going to the internet for a recipe and having to hear about how somebody's great grandmother murdered a cow and stole the secret recipe from their udder and passed it down through the generations, and you're getting the secret glimpse into it on their internet page. So if you want to read the recipe, you have to read their 75-page novella getting you to it. That irritates the ever-loving shit out of me. If I want to see a recipe, I'm going to go look for a recipe. If I want your life story, I'll go find the biography. But that's not what I went looking for. Just tell me how to make the goddamn pasta sauce. But no, everybody wants you to know that their fucking great Marmaduke is the one who came and found it.
And they're tricky on these because I don't know if you notice as you scroll through the page, it pauses. You're technically clicking through different pages. So they're getting the fake page views and fake retention and all the ads on their site just so you get a 3-line recipe at the bottom. And I agree, that's the stupidest stuff.
It irritates. Like, there are times where sometimes I'm looking for something and I'm like, this, just from the little snippet they show you in the preview, is like, this could be just the recipe I'm looking for. But I'm not going to use it because I refuse to read this chick's life story, this dude's life story, this whoever's life story, just to find out how to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Which, if you know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich, you've got a problem.
Hey, you like fancy shit. Like
I can't have cheese anymore, so I can't like the fancy shit.
I know, but if I had told you back in the day, like, look, I found a recipe for balsamic pears in a grilled cheese sandwich, you would have made me make balsamic pears in a grilled cheese sandwich. Which to me sounds horrifying, and I know to you sounds delicious.
No, that shit was delicious. I've actually had pear grilled cheese before. It's amazing. That's me. So yeah, his TV tastes have gone more to the trashy side.
I like it.
Like, you'll just hear random fights in the other room. I was like, yeah, he's watching some ratchet bitch show.
He'll hear someone yell bitch, and he knows the song.
Yeah, I'll come home, and he'll be sitting in the chair watching ratchet bitch shows.
But y'all, he can't help himself either when they're good. Like, there was one fight we were watching where there's this chick sitting across the table, and she keeps telling the other girl, don't go there with me, don't go there with me, don't go there with me. And the chick keeps doing it. So she reaches across the table, grabs her by the wig, and pulls her face down into the table. And Gavin loved it. I don't even give a shit. He may not watch the rest of the shows with me, but when the fights come on, it's like Jerry Springer. Y'all, you remember at basketball?
I loved Jerry Springer.
Remember at basketball where they're doing shots watching Jerry Springer? Gavin comes running when he hears that kind of fight. Like, oh, waiting to see that shit happen.
Yeah, he has them all lined up so I can just watch them.
And there are days where I'll remember where the fight was and pause it, and I'll be like, I'm going to wait till he gets home. He needs to see this one. It was a good one. Somebody lost a wig in this one. He needs to see.
They're always losing their weaves and wigs in that one. That's the first thing they do is they snatch that hair right off their head
and then swing it, and they start swinging it around like a prize. I love it. I can't get enough, y'all. I love it.
So that's been our first episode of So I Married a Geek. We hope you guys have liked it. We're just going to there won't be any set time. We'll just kind of talk, and you can watch the whole show or the segments online. But I thought, what better way to wrap each episode than with an Ask Me Anything question? And so we've got a couple questions people asked me over the years that we both will have to answer, and I'm going to let him draw this out. I already see his face. So reach in there and grab one.
If I just fill up the goblet of fire, and I'm going to pull out somebody's name who's doomed.
All right. What's the question?
Which one of you is more professional?
That'd be you in a heartbeat.
Well, it depends, though. Like, professional at what? Like, in this arena, in this world, you're a pro. When it comes to producing a show,
true,
organizing charities for this stuff, bringing together a crew to make something happen, you're a pro at that. If we're talking about somebody who goes to work and they've got their 9 to 5 and,
I'm talking about maybe life-wise. You're more professional life-wise than I am. I'm more free-spirited, run around. You're more...
I am usually the one who has to wrangle you.
Yeah, you're like, no.
But I'm trying to be more fun. It's been a work in progress. I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn how to pull the monkey out of my ass, but I've just always been super uptight, and I'm trying hard not to be quite so uptight. And for those of y'all watching, learn a lesson from me. It is very possible to be so uptight you make yourself sick. Chill. Life is short. Have fun. And maybe sometimes be unprofessional and play with all the teddy bears at Walmart and drop them on the ground and throw them at children.
One time, I think Josh and I walked through Walmart and we treated our teddy bear like our child and we beat it and yelled at it.
That's not what I was talking about. That you took the wrong memory because I would not have encouraged you beating it like a child. That's
oh God!
inappropriate.
If we ever do a show when Josh is down, we're gonna have to do stories from the day because he's got all.
I
the
was talking
stories.
about that time you and my nephew were throwing stuffed T-Rexes at each other at Walmart.
Oh yeah, we were like.
And usually I would have been the grown-up to stop them, but they were having so much fun. I was like, "Nah, y'all go for it.
Yeah.
We'll clean up our mess," and we did. But it was so cute watching my nephew throw a T-Rex at Gavin, and Gavin being like, "Oh, it's like that, is it?" And then it was on.
That was like 1 o'clock in the morning at Walmart. We were just being fun.
Yeah.
And that's like. We're gonna spend a segment sometime talking about dad mode.
No shit.
Because dad mode kicks in on me quite often, and his butt goes like literally.
I'm gonna say it nicer than he does. It does make my uterus skip a beat.
It purrs, it growls, it does all sorts of stuff.
It's just so like I never thought I wanted to be a father. I always thought I would be a terrible father, and it turned out I'm not so bad at being a dad. And
She just ate our question of the week.
she's like, "Cause the show is over. Wrap it up. I'm the star." But I will say, over time, I stopped thinking I was gonna be a horrible dad. And then when I would see him with kids, it would just make my uterus like skip a beat, and I'd be like, "Oh, we should have a baby. We should have a baby."
Yeah, we have a 16-year-old that's a jackass.
And then when I talk about how we should have a baby, he's like, "No, no." Because
I've been there. I've done that.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. If we have a baby, he's so wonderful. He would change the diapers and he'd do all the feedings, and I would get to sleep.
I've done
and
that.
I get to play with it and hold it. Oh, he's so precious, and I get to teach him all the. I'll teach him Latin while you change diapers.
They want to know Sesame Street. They don't want to fucking know Latin.
Hey, if he wants his English to be good like mine, he's going to learn Latin.
Been there, done that. We need toddlers and kids that are potty trained.
They need to learn Latin.
That's fine.
My
I'm
mother-
more like let's adopt
My
kids.
mother
that are
was
in the
teaching
system.
us Latin and Greek etymons when we were
And look how judgmental you've become.
I'm trying not to be.
So that's been our first episode. We hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Thanks,
We're
everybody.
going to do 2 episodes for our pilot so that you guys can kind of get a feel for how we're going to handle things, because the next episode is going to be